So Life Food has been a long journey. I believe it started about 8-9 years ago, and the catalyst for it was my faith. Because in my church we were preaching, my pastor was teaching us about life in the body, and something really totally ignited in me, and I realized that I needed to make some drastic changes in my life and my husband's. So we embarked on just really changing our lifestyle totally. So one of the biggest things is food and exercise. So we brought that into our lives, and then I started the Good Market, and from the Good Market we went to the actual Good Market shop, and then from there we came here, which is now known as the Life Food Café. So it's been a long journey, but a really fruitful one thus far. I think what makes us different to other cafes who are health focused is that we are more wholesome, more nutritious. So that's how I like to think of us. The food is very comforting, so you don't necessarily come here and think, oh, I'm eating something super healthy, but it's certainly good for you. We don't use processed food, very, very few sources, because we make it all ourselves. Even the produce is soaked in ionized water, so we can get rid of some of the pesticides and chemicals. Everything has a bit of a healthier spin on it, which makes us different. 8-9 years ago was my turning point. I was totally overweight, indulgent lifestyle, nothing compared to what my life has progressed to. And we've just seen such great benefits in living differently, you know, just making simple, healthy choices, adding exercise into your routine, not just the physical looking good. I feel great. I feel totally energized all the time. My husband is unrecognizable. My sister has lost like 10-11 kilos, and she's type 2 diabetic. Her diabetes is completely under control. You know, those kind of things, you can't put a price on that, you know. And for me, it's important to teach my children this, so that they have longevity. I want my kids and myself to live a long, healthy life without pain. Without having to be dependent on medication to get me, you know, to sit up, sit down, and all that kind of stuff. I want to be a useful 90-year-old, like both my grandmothers were, and that's the goal: to stay as healthy as possible for as long as possible, and really enjoy life. I would just want to be full of joy. I don't want to be a burden to anyone, and I certainly don't want to be like downtrodden, because I have not taken the steps necessary from the get-go. And the wonderful thing about this journey is you can make that switch at any point. You know, 50 is not too old, 60 is not too old, and surely when you're much younger, it's even easier. So we were one of the first health food startups in the nation. It was in a couple of magazines, which was quite inspiring. It was I guess at the time it would have been quite a tricky thing to take on, because there wasn't anything quite like us. But my goodness, people have just embraced it. They love it. I think it was the right time. People are open, their hearts are open for stuff like this. And since Life Food, there's been quite a few health food startups, which is absolutely brilliant. And I think as we have a social responsibility, being in the food industry, to serve good, nutritious, wholesome food. And I think even the fast food chains around the world are realizing that people are more in tune, and they know what they want, so you can't hoodwink them. And I think if you have an idea, a really good one, to serve something really good, which is going to add value to life, I'm saying go for it. People will jump on board with you.